chance to hear it, so let her tell it. People on the streets say Sabrina speaks. Tune into the show, she will let you know. Tell all your friends and family. Real talk is no joke. You get the news straight up from grassroots and concerns. You hear with some people gone. So tell all your friends to tune in to
Good evening, K-Man. I'm Sabrina Turner, and welcome to Sabrina Speaks, your daily dose of clarity, truth, and community insights. Every weekday from 5 to 6:30 p.m., we're tackling the issues that affect you, from national headlines to grassroots concerns. Whether you're in traffic or winding down your day, this is your chance to hear it straight and speak your truth. So buckle up, K-Man. We're not holding back.
This is the show. We gotta let you know. Now we got to go.
And now here's Sabrina.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, one and all. My mic is on. Yeah, the camera is working. And I'm right here, ready for another episode of Sabrina Speaks. Yes, we're Voices of the Islands, conversations for the world, the podcast where voices rise, stories unfold, and inspiration takes center stage. Wherever you're streaming us from this evening here in the Cayman Islands, maybe morning, good night, good evening. Haha. You know what? We're sending you warm tropical greetings here from the beautiful Cayman Islands. I am your host, Sabrina, and it's good to be back with you. Now, we've got what I'm expecting to be a vibrant show lineup today, as they usually always are. And we're hoping to be filled with energy and community pride as well. And we're going to hear some Caymanian voices because, yes, in a certain section, we're going to open the mic as we continue with our summer edition open mic segment here. But for the first half, after the news and weather update, we're going to be kicking things off with an exciting interview ahead of the Academy Sports Club Preseason Showdown that's, getting ready for tomorrow's action on the pitch. And I know that the excitement is definitely building for that, for all of you football fans and lovers out there. I am a new kid on the block when it comes to that, but yeah, I will be attending the matches as well. So yeah, who to tell? I may see you guys out there. But yes, after that interview, we're going to be opening the mics. As I said, your summer edition continues. And we want to hear your stories, your experiences. Yes. And I got two powerful stories that were shared with me yesterday after the show. One from a Caymanian working in the hotel industry who was just pretty much distraught that, their employment was not continued. I'll read that message for you because it aligns with what we were talking about yesterday. And another where they were talking about the cruise berthing and the cargo port facility, and even how the fuel tanks. Yeah, I got some information on that. And with this, I got permission to bring it up. And of course, we will keep these persons anonymous. But the mere fact to talk about these stories that were shared with me, I have their permission to, of course, anonymize them, but still bring it to the forefront, aligned with our subject matter that, of course, sparked serious conversation. And I know for sure it caught the attention of many. But as you know how we do it here, as always, this summer edition is proudly sponsored by Bridgepoint Immigration Consulting. Appointment only for services, yes, professional guidance, and the bridge that helps help you move confidently into your next chapter. So please, should you need navigation, immigration advice, consultancies, not just limited to what's here, please send them a WhatsApp 938-1337 or feel free to email them at bridgepoint.imm@gmail.com. And we want to thank them for their kind sponsorship as well. Also, please note that the views expressed by callers, guests, and online commenters are their own and not those of Bridge Media Limited, its affiliates, the Sabrina Speaks Show, or the host. This program is for general information only and not a substitute for legal, medical, financial, or professional advice. All participants are reminded to speak responsibly and respectfully. Any content that is defamatory, discriminatory, unlawful, or harmful is strictly prohibited and will not be endorsed or tolerated. Now, however you're listening, viewing, watching us, it's the same thing. Your participation implies acceptance of this disclaimer. To join in on the live conversation, yes, feel free to call us. 345-936-8255 is the number as we continue to build this space, this community, one episode at a time. And yes, we see the followings, and I mean it. Every day I get up, I'm getting follows and shares from others. Yes, and I just want to tell you all how thankful and how grateful I am for all of those persons who take the time to like, follow, and share our page, and definitely telling their friends and family for it, because guess what? They are in the front of the line for always being notified, and they are never missing an episode. Nope. So, yep, it's good to be back with you. Connie Bonnie is in the house, my content creator in bloom. Yes, yesterday we kicked it off, and we got straight into it. We got some of the images that, look who surfaced. I'm going to get to you. But yes, so we're going to be sharing some of that. And but let's get into the weather, because we got some guests that will be joining us in the first half. And then, of course, I'm getting that you guys are liking this whole free flow style of how we're doing things, and the open mic summer edition, where it's, if we get guests, of course, we got to pay the bill somehow, right? But what I'm saying is I'm getting the feedback that you guys are just liking that free flow style all the time. Of course, we will have some topics because I got to have content. But I thank you for your feedback, and definitely we will play with it here. And it's your platform. But yeah, we love hearing from you nevertheless. Let's see what's going on with the weather. I heard some rumbling just before I entered the studio here. But, don't leave it up to me and the old ways of being taught and raised up by a seaman. Let's hear what the experts of the Cayman Islands National Weather Service has in the forecast for tonight and into tomorrow. Compliments of the Cayman Islands National Weather Service, the forecast for tonight and into tomorrow is calling for, yes, showers with the possibility of thunder are expected this evening due to lingering moisture. Now, thereafter, shower activity will decrease overnight with only a low chance of few brief showers and isolated thunderstorms as drier air associated with a plume of Saharan dust drifts over the Cayman Islands. Now, moderate winds and seas are forecasted through the period. For that, the forecast for tonight is calling for partly cloudy skies with haze and a 30% chance of overnight showers with possible thunder. Temperatures will fall near the low to mid 80s, and winds will be east to northeast 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. Tomorrow, there is calling for partly cloudy skies with a slight haze and a 30% chance of showers. Temperatures will rise near the low to mid 90s with a heat index of 109 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, winds will be east to northeast 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. There will be a high tide this evening at 9:04, a low tide at 3:19 tomorrow morning, and another high is expected at 9:01 a.m. The sun will set this evening at 6:54, and sun will rise tomorrow morning at 6:06. And for that, the outlook is calling for, dust and more dust. Saharan dust haze will be expected and be embedded within the atmosphere through Thursday, creating a dry environment, and increase in chance of showers is forecasted for Thursday night, mainly across the sister islands as a tropical wave drifts into the Northwest Caribbean. Want to thank our friends over there at the Cayman Islands National Weather Service. Now you can plan all of your events, but please exercise caution. Exercise insurance regulators and reinforces confidence in the jurisdiction's regulatory framework. The Premier will advance discussions on Cayman's application for qualified jurisdiction status supported by Parliamentary Secretary Julie Hunter, senior government advisors, and SEMA representatives. Now, Acting Premier Nicholas Acosta and other acting ministers are overseeing responsibility during this visit. The Ministry of Tourism Trade Development has appointed GFA consulting groups to develop the Cayman Islands' first comprehensive trade development framework. Now, the 12-month project will be led by Prevail and Associates, bringing regional expertise in trade, economics, legal framework, and stakeholder engagement. Now, the consultants will review Cayman's trade landscape, analyze import costs, and identify opportunities to strengthen supply chains and reduce the cost of living. An interim report is expected within 6 months, following by a draft and final framework. Government says the initiative is a key step towards long-term economic resilience. In other news, making headlines, local headlines today, we see where the Cayman Islands has published its first national cancer policy, creating a national framework to strengthen cancer prevention, screening, and early detection across the islands. Now, the policy standardized screening for bowel, cervical, and female breast cancers, outlining recommended ages, testing methods, and intervals. It adopts the UK NICE guidelines to support consistent, evidence-based clinical pathways. Now, government officials says the policy marks a major step towards improving outcomes and building a proactive patient-centered health system. Work is also on the way on a cancer registry bill with public consultation to follow. The National Trust of the Cayman Islands has broken ground on a new blue iguana conservation office and laboratory at the Queen Elizabeth II Botanic Park. Now, the 1,200 square foot building, designed as a replica of a traditional Caymanian home, will house a medical lab, research facilities, incubators, an education room, and collection space. Now, the project marks a major milestone for the 36-year-old conservation program, enhancing care for the endangered blue iguana and expanding hands-on learning opportunities for students and interns working with this iconic Cayman species. As we turn our attention over into our regional headlines making the Sabrina Speaks news for today, we start with Jamaica. Water Minister Matthew Samuda is warning that anyone who breaches Jamaica's newly announced water prohibition orders could face fines of up to $1.5 million. The orders were introduced as part of an emergency measures to manage ongoing drought conditions and protect the country's limited water resources. Now, Samuda says strict enforcement will follow, noting that penalties are intended to deter misuse and ensure compliance as authorities work to stabilize supply across affected communities. The Duke of Sussex U.S. visa application, OMG, is facing renewed scrutiny after his memoir, Spare, including admissions of past drug use. Now, the disclosure have prompted questions from U.S. lawmakers about whether standard immigration procedures were followed and whether applicants who admitted to drug use would receive additional vetting. Officials have not confirmed any details of Prince Harry's immigration file, citing privacy laws, but discussions continue over how much cases are assessed under existing U.S. visa rules. And we go to Barbados because Rihanna is sharing a full circle moment from Barbados, reflecting on her journey from growing up in Westbury to returning to the street now named in her honor. Now, the superstar posted photos of herself with her children at Rihanna Drive, writing that one moment she feels like a kid she once was, and the next brings her own children back to the place that celebrates her legacy, calling the experience trippy. She credited her success to her faith, saying the glory will always belong to the Almighty Creator. Yes. And England is on track to becoming one of the one of the first countries in the world to eliminate hepatitis C. According to new health figures, the virus, which can cause serious, sometimes fatal liver disease, has been declining sharply due to expanded testing and early treatment and targeted outreach to high-risk groups. Now, health officials says the continued progress could see England meet its elimination goal ahead of international timelines, marking a major public health milestone. Congratulations to them on that. And yes, for all of those persons who love to watch the skies, sky watchers could be in for a rare celestial treat on Wednesday. Yes, with three major cosmic events lining up for those in the right locations, though. A parade of planets, a total solar eclipse, and what is expected to be the year's best meteor shower may all be visible within the same night. While visibility will depend on geography and weather conditions, astronomers says that the overlap of these phenomena is unusual, offering a potentially spectacular night for anyone able to catch even one of the displays. So that's the path for the full solar eclipse of 100%, 90, and 80. This is more over the UK. So for all of my British people, European people, you're going to get a front row seat. Please make sure you take advantage of it. Here in the Caribbean, we don't look like we're going to be too lucky for this one. Well, we see where the markets close mostly lower today as rising oil prices and geopolitical uncertainty pressured investor sentiment. In the US, the Dow and S&P 500 and Nasdaq all slipped, while Europe ended mixed with slight gains on the DAX and in declines in the FTSE. Now, Asian markets were divided, with Japan's Nikkei surging while Hong Kong's Hang Seng fell. Oil continues its climb, with Brent nearing $89 per barrel amid supply concerns. Now, there you have it. That concludes our news and market closings for today. Yes, right here on the Sabrina Speaks. As we see you all, it is good to have you. Hey, Harry. Hi, Connie Bonnie. How you doing? Hope everyone is having a great afternoon, and I'm loving the fact that we're doing wonders with time here as we are going. For those who are just joining us, we are going to be having some guests as we kick off the preseason games. Yes, Academy Sports Club. We're going to have some representatives from them joining us this evening, and exciting about a match that's going to be taking place tomorrow, and another definitely on Saturday. Now, are you going to go in? Well, you know what? You got to stay tuned to hear more about this. And we're going to be hearing from even some of the visiting team, a representative from the visiting team as well, to share with us all that is the stock. Actually, the excitement is building. Yep, we're going to bring that same vibe from World Cup. Oh, yeah. But it's that time as we continue with the celebratory section of celebrating birthdays today. For any and everyone who's celebrating a birthday, from all of us here on the Sabrina Speaks platform, happy birthday. Wishing you many, many more to come as well. And hoping that you're having a fantastic day, no matter how you choose to celebrate your birthday. And the same goes out to those who are, celebrating wedding anniversaries. Happy anniversary. Wishing you all many, many more. Yep. And long standing, many more well wishes. I see you. Wake up. Many, many more to come. Of course, there are those who are amongst this inner community as well that is not, smiling or joyful, or no. We're talking about those who are mourning the loss of a loved one. Or I just want you guys to know that our thoughts and prayers go out to you as well. As you navigate this time, we just want you to know that our thoughts and prayers are with you all during this, and you're not forgotten for sure. Now, I want to do and go straight into our community announcements to remind you that this Saturday, there will be a free school uniform alterations event that is going to be taking place East End and North Side local farmers market, and that's compliments of Friends and Needles. Yes, any alterations from, for schools, you're being asked to bring your clean uniforms and children for fitting at the market. And for Friends and Needles, will provide complimentary hemming and repairs, button replacements for East End Primary School, Northside, and Clifton Hunter High School students. Now, this will be extended during market hours. So this is complimentary, and we want to thank our friends there from Friends and Needles for putting on this event. And yeah, you're encouraged to do that. Also, this is the last Saturday, 15th of August, that the Prospect Primary School's uniform store will be open, and that's from 9 until 3. If you are one of those persons just getting back on island and or you just got to get, some people are just like that. You got to wait till you get the funds, right? Well, this Saturday, not to say that they will not be open, but I'm talking about Saturdays. This Saturday, August 15th, 9 until 3, the uniform store at Prospect Primary School will be open for those persons to get up their supplies for sure. I see my guest hovering in the back. Yeah, I'm going to bring you guys in a second. Just stay right there. So good to see you. But yep, there we have. So there you go. You put that marking in your calendars. And even though my content creators in Bloom, Connie Bonnie, is all the way in the UK, she is still dedicated to making sure that she sends us beautiful flowers of the day, hoping that this will put a smile on somebody's face. Thank you, my love, and I'm hoping that you're enjoying and having a fabulous time. Look who's in the house again and joining us today. The one, the only Harry. Hello to you, my sweet. And Carol. I can't say she's still the baddest, but Ashley, you're the bomb. You're the bomb, Ashley. Ashley is the one who's just given me some beautiful boho. Oh, yeah. Check out Slate down there by High Tech Electronics for your summer dues. You don't have to be going away on a cruise. Just always look fabulous, whether it's Carol, whether it's Ashley, and Stacy, the nail girl. I just name you girl. So if they come in there asking for Stacy, you just say, it's me. Yeah, go and check out Slate. Stacy is the nail girl, Ashley is the braid girl, and Carol, oh Lord, she's bad. She's bad. Miss Barbara G in the house as it's 5:24. We're going to get into our conversation at 5:30 with our guests and just building the excitement for the 2 matches that will be played here in the Cayman Islands starting tomorrow night and into Saturday as we welcome our guest. Barbara G, good evening to you as well, my sweet. It's so good to have you joining us. Live happy. Hi. That Caymanian home is gorgeous. I would like a home like that, isn't it? Isn't it gorgeous? But that's going to be a project at the park, the Botanic Park. Yeah, it is beautiful. It is beautiful. You're more than welcome, my sweet, and thank you. Miss Joy is in the house with us as well. Yes, yes, yes. Wake up, Cayman Islands. I am all set for the solar party tomorrow. Please wake up. 345-936-8255 is the number to call, or you can send me a WhatsApp of any pictures that you're able to capture. Anybody out there, Harry, I don't know how techno you are, but I know you can send me pictures. We saw the cat. If you get a glimpse of that eclipse or anything that's happening, yeah, send us some pictures tomorrow, please. Let's see what we can do with sharing right here on The Family, where you all are content creators in Bloom. And so is Dawn at Green Valley Nursery, out there in Lower Valley, sharing with us some beauties. Look at these beauties. Oh my goodness, it must be summer, isn't it? Green Valley Nursery open from Monday to Saturday from 7 until 4. And you can get all of these beauties. She can help you design your space and all. And even if it's something that seems impossible to move, knowing my friend Dawn, she will dig it up for you. Because that's how she rolls. So please don't forget, check Green Valley Nursery. You can't miss it if you're out in the Eastern Districts coming down in the morning in traffic. You see the big sign, beautiful palm trees. OMG, they're massive. And she's selling those too. Yeah, girl, you can get them. You can buy them. Donnie will be more than happy to definitely share the love. And I'm grabbing an image here. There we go. and yeah, with all of you. So, but thank you, North Carolina love. Where is my Marshall? OMG, look at there. Look who just popped up. Marshall just popped up. North Carolina love is in the house this evening. Good evening to you. Where's my friend on Andrew? Andrew Campbell, APB. I got to make sure that I call out all of you guys. Yeah, getting into the move now. Let us see what we're going to be doing. Bringing my people in the background. Oh, yeah, I see you guys. I'm excited for you. I've been converted to football, guys, so be thankful. I'm seeing you, but I'm going to pull you in. Is everybody okay? Is the second guest? I see Mr. Virgil. Academy's in the house. Yes, 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 yes. Just give me a thumbs up. Surname Beckford. Yep. If you're ready for me, there is no camera. But yeah, for those of you just joining us this evening, yes, I see you. I see you. Good, good, good. You can't go on any more vacations. Why, Marshall? Why can't I go on vacations? I got so much compliments of how rested I look, how good I look, or better, I should say. Why not? You heard I was on public beach. Siobhan just let it all out of the bag, even though I had it out of the bag, walking down there with my two-piece, blocking traffic. How much of you believe that story? It'll be interesting. Well, anyhow, thank you so much. It's good to be missed. But without further ado, I don't want to hold up my guest here any further. Yeah, because it's some exciting times here. And definitely, we want to make sure that everyone comes out tomorrow and definitely on Saturday, because we're talking about the Academy Sports Club Preseason Showdown that's going to be taking place right here. Yes, and tomorrow is shaping up to be something special on the pitch. And I'm talking about the Academy Sports Club Preseason Showdown that's taking place right here and the whole island. I know after today's show, you're going to be buzzing about it. There's going to be 2 matches, big talent, big energy, and a whole lot of community spirit. So I want to welcome to my virtual studio for the first time, and I'm hoping it will not be the last. Yes, I'm talking the one, the only Mr. Virgil Seymour, director of, yes, Academy Sports Club. Good evening. And also, welcome, Mr. Romar Beckford. Guess what? Team manager from Portmore, Jamaica, only 45 minutes away. Hi, welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having
Thank
us
you so
aboard.
much.
Thanks.
It is so good to have you on here, and I'm just so happy. Thank you for choosing your platform as well as one of the outlets to spread the word and build the energy and excitement. And I think you got to be thankful, Virgil. You and I have had many of discussions, and even though I support sports because it gets us going, I was like a deer in headlights when it came to football. Yeah, I'm not even ashamed to say that. But whatever it is, from working at home and the World Cup, let me tell you, you ain't got nobody like in football like me anymore. So, hey, it is a pleasure to have you both joining me here this evening and just getting into the excitement, telling us more what is in store for the next 2 days. And pretty much, how are you feeling about the big showdown that is just pretty much one day away?
Romar,
Or you both at some point.
Romar, go ahead.
You can go ahead first, man. I know we're pretty excited.
Total gentleman here.
Well, hospitality. I wanted my guests to have the floor first.
Oh,
Yeah,
you were raised well. Mm-mm.
yeah. Thank you. We try. No, it's supposed to be, great. Again, thank you for having us on.
It's a
Um,
pleasure.
it's it's been in the making for a little while. We've been trying to get it to happen a few years, and we just happened to be lucky to put more action to the champions for Jamaica, so that's been a lot more excitement, and I was glad that they were able to come accept the offer and come along, so that we can from here grow, and have a better relationship going forward. That's what we're looking to do, and again, I'm so thankful that you're here. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Beckford, how are you feeling
Reg,
about the big showdown that's just pretty much one day away?
to be honest, I'm very, very excited. The guys are quite elated. A matter of fact, we're actually training right now So we're
Oh,
getting ready for tomorrow. It's going to be an excellent game, I
uh-huh.
can admit. So people can just come out and just expect excitement, good football, and professionalism as usual. Because we are
Right.
the champions of Jamaica, so we're
Ah.
coming over here to see
Well,
what
there's
we
a
can
lot
do as
more that we
well.
probably don't even know here in Cayman exactly why and what we're in store, what's in store. So yeah, that's a good thing. But you know what? Let's immerse ourselves a little bit more for anyone who hasn't heard the details yet. Give us a rundown of what's really starting or kicking off tomorrow.
My guess. I'm a, yeah, I live here. I want you to.
Ah,
Yeah.
well, as
Tell
you
me.
know, tomorrow is just fun. Um, Fun engagement, good football, and food as usual. So it's fun, fellowship, and food. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's the best way to say it. As we said before, we're the champions for Jamaica. We're actually just coming back from Trinidad, probably 2 days before we came here. And so, because we're in CONCACAF League, for those who don't know
Ah.
as well, the CONCACAF Caribbean Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have a very wonderful team that's coming here, which is just good football people and all of
Mm-hmm.
that. So it will be a day of a lot of fun, excitement, and all those things.
Okay. Now I have the flyer up here on the stage. In Academy, you're the host and the director, Mr. Virgil Seymour. Tell us what's
Yeah,
happening for
you
those.
know,
Yeah, I've
you
been
know,
pushing it as best as I can, but I don't
yeah,
think people really understand what you brought here.
right. So, coming off the back of the World Cup and these guys coming off of their trip, I think this has been the best time to kick off our preseason.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And of course, I'm looking to learn a lot from Portmore. As they say, they're a professional team. We're still amateur.
Right.
So yeah, it'll be a good game. It'll be a good
Mm-hmm.
test for us to see our potential, where we are, playing a professional team.
Yeah.
Quality I see in the guys. Everybody looks fit, looks ready. Uh,
Wow.
that they've been training for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Our training just started 3-4 weeks ago.
Right.
So it'll be good to see. And also one of the things that the guys here will learn is, Jamaica's 45 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they really grasp the as he said, professionalism
Mm-hmm.
from a team in Jamaica, because
Right.
we're so close. But Jamaica's a good starting point for us to go there and play or have them come here like Portmore came, and so we can see where we are as well in far as
Mm-hmm.
abilities and how we play the game, and so it's going to be very interesting for us. When I was 18, 19, Coach Young did the same thing. He brought teams over. I think it was 6 or 7 teams, and it was beautiful because
Uh-huh.
because Jamaican teams beat us up really bad the first year, and then one year
Oh
they beat.
wow.
But he brought them back again, and the competition was much better because we
Mm-hmm.
understood by having our neighbors come over and learn a lot from them. Because
Mm-hmm.
the whole idea is to learn from your neighbors because it makes no sense to go
Mm-hmm.
further if you can't compete with your neighbor next door.
Right.
A lot of
Now,
sense, right?
Now, I know Mr. Beckford is being as diplomatic and as polite as he can, but it seems to me there are professional, yes, but some serious opponents. But this is good for your team because of what it exposes you to. Does that, Virgil, in any way, shape, or form, pretty much it sets the standards of what's to be expected? But how do you reassure your players not to be intimidated? It's the game, it's the sport.
Yeah, one of the good things that I could say, a lot of the boys have been away to school, and so they've been
Okay.
a regime, and they're getting
Right.
up in the morning, going to training, going back home, do their studies, go to school,
Right.
repeat the same thing again in the evening. So they have a little, if you want to call it semi-pro
Mm-hmm.
mindset, so they kind of have an idea what to be expecting from Portmore. Maybe not all in full force, but that's the excitement that I'm looking forward to. That when
Yeah.
we both are on the field, my guys now see the difference between the strength, the power, the speed, the way they think. Everything can be supposed to be more dynamic. That's
Okay.
what I'm really looking forward to.
Right.
Because
So it's a win-win for both teams, right? Beckford, I'm quite sure you can put your side on this.
Correct, correct,
Understanding,
correct.
yeah, your accolades. Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, man, it's definitely a win-win for both teams. Definitely the fact that we could even come to Cayman and have a training camp because our hosts were so gracious. Just want to say, thank you for that. And so, yes, it is a win-win for both teams because our season actually starts on the 23rd,
Mm-hmm.
right? As well as, so we have a very tight window to prepare because we've been traveling a lot. And so it will be a good game for both teams.
That's right.
Mhm.
Now, Virgil, we know that one thing Academy Sports Club is known for is community. This isn't just a match, and we don't want people to think, oh, it's just another match. This is an event. I am seeing here on the flyer that just screams excitement from food trucks to kids five-a-side, family fun. Why was it important to make this more than just football? The atmosphere that you're creating here, why was that so important to you?
Yeah, we kind of lost that along the way somehow, and we got too busy. We competing with electronics and so on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And before you just go next door and play in your neighbor's yard and so on, those things don't really exist that much anymore. So we're trying to create that in an environment where you can come, I guess, with your friends, no friends, and just
Right.
play football. And at the end of all of that, you will have new friends that play football. So I just
Mm-hmm.
wanted, and food kind of brings a relationship. When you have food there, everybody eats. You go get a burger, fries, and you're there, and you start talking to people about what's happening, what's the surroundings about, and then
Mm-hmm.
before you know it, you're joining the academy, of course, and and that's the whole idea is to bring back the community
Yeah.
that I grew up in,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And the love for football, right?
Exactly.
And it
No,
just
I love that.
yeah, just come and play football. No structure to that. Just go play five-a-side. Have bunks and castles there. Just come and enjoy yourself while they have their
Mm-hmm.
parents there watching the game. They can still, because back then that's how we go visit your friends and you take
Mm-hmm.
your kids with you and they go play in the yard and have football.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
Yeah.
kind of environment I wanted to do
Mm-hmm.
with having the food trucks and the families coming down. Because I really wanted to focus on the community because I
Right.
also supported the club over the last 19 years very heavily. And
Right.
yeah, and getting a lot of the boys out to prep school, college, and universities. So this community have been behind the club significantly, I should say. So it's great. So this at one point we can give back and have people come over and the younger kids get in for free, no charge for them. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's the best way to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. So the $20 that we're seeing here is for adults, and children under 12 is totally free. So yeah,
Yeah,
that.
that's correct. Yeah, right.
Now, I know the similarities with our cultures and everything. Jamaica, Cayman is a place where people in sports, especially football, parents, kids, grandparents, everybody loves this sport of football. Because I know during the season of World Cup, every corner you look, there was somebody, young, old, middle aged, whatever. Even me tried to kick a little thing, between my dogs. I was playing even with my dogs. But, but I'm
Yeah.
quite sure, Beckford, it's the same thing with you. When you look at the traditions or cultures, it's no different in Jamaica, correct?
Correct, correct. I think the biggest difference here so far for me personally,
Uh huh.
it doesn't have to do with culture. It's just I have stray dogs back home and you guys have iguanas here.
Oh my gosh. So which one are you scared of? The stray dogs can chase, but we can get away from our iguanas pretty easy, but your dogs down there are at a different level.
Yeah, man. But it just feels like home here, to be honest. Even our chef here, I don't know if she has some Jamaican background or something like that, but we've been eating jerk chicken, pasta, all of
Nice.
those things. So it's just like we're back home. So it's
Hmm.
perfect for us. I don't even know if we're thinking about leaving at this rate.
I guess you had a water already, not water, water.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's a good
man. So
idea.
it's pretty cool.
I like that idea. You can come here and let us go there play in your league for a while. That'd be
Yay.
brilliant. I love
There
that.
you
Definitely,
go.
definitely. It's something that we can definitely arrange, man.
Yeah,
Oh my
Definitely.
goodness. It's
a
almost
hundred percent.
like a student exchange, like a swap. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Now,
Well,
gentlemen, from both sides, but mostly for Virgil, what do you hope families then will take away from not only tomorrow's show, but you're got to be doing something on Saturday as well?
yeah.
What do you hope families will take away from this event?
Well, for one, that the community again, Jamaica's our neighbor, right? And a lot of time we don't appreciate our neighbors like we should. right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you in a better situation, you have a little more. That means you should share it,
Yeah.
right? And one of the things that I'm looking to how the relationship with Portmore. So again, this will just be a one-off thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They're starting up the youth program soon, so I'm looking to bring the youth programs here so we can have that fellowship,
Nice.
right? Right,
Nice.
and then we can learn from them, or you know, the professional structure, at all ages, and that would definitely help our program, 100%. You know, the again, our kids here, um, the everything's kind of provided, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
the fight is not as it
You're not
is in
hungry. We not get that hunger for,
yes,
yeah.
Got
It's
that
like it's,
dog in you, man.
yeah, yeah. Like you
yes,
got to bring that out. You got to be the
Yeah, man.
beast to get there because it's like you're at a Piccadilly just pushing your tray along and, ooh, you just choose it. But
right,
despite us being so close together, the fight, the struggle is real and totally
yes,
different based on the two jurisdictions, either by
All
music
right.
or sport or some craft or some trade. Yeah, it's there is a different type of hunger that
right.
you are trying to describe that is very visible, like in Jamaica, for example.
Right. So Portmore being here would bring that, and that'll be demonstrated in the game tomorrow and Saturday. Right. It almost seem like it'll be a fight, but that's just natural for them. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's where we need to raise our level. That if you want to become pro, go to university and use football as your ticket or your
Mm-hmm.
gateway. That's what you
Mm-hmm.
need. You know, you need to be a little more tenacious. You need to have a little more aggression. You need a little more of that.
Right.
And at the end
Right.
of the game, you shake hands, you hug each other, and that's it, right? It's just in the
Exactly.
moment of the game that we need those things, and I think a lot of times we don't get that firsthand. So having Putmo here again is brilliant because I think when everybody see them playing and
Mm-hmm.
the movement and the aggression and stuff and how they
Mm-hmm.
really want to get the ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I hope the fans come up and see them because a lot of time you don't get that opportunity to
Right.
travel, you know. So we
Yeah.
bring the travel here. So
Nice.
I'm looking for a great show and the community
Okay.
come out and support. And from here, like I say, hopefully it's a domino effect and we can grow more from this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. The appetite is there. Now let's
Yes.
talk a little bit about the whole preparing for this preseason challenge and break it down into how you all have been preparing the players from the discipline to the building up to the excitement and what commitment is required for this whole event and season.
I think the first thing for us is it starts with the mind, and so it is a different level of mental fortitude that you need to be at this level. As
Mm-hmm.
Virgin said earlier, it is exposure for everybody because we have some professionals in our team that has played all over Europe, in the
Right.
MLS in America, anywhere in England, and so it's different for some of our guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so it starts with the mind first, most of all, and so we have to get in their head because that's where everything starts. And
Right.
then in terms of fitness and all of that, well, I don't know about Virgil, but my guys train twice a day.
Hmm.
And
Mm.
so it's a very, very intense and a very rigid program that we have going on.
Mm-hmm.
Even nutrition is a big thing for us. They can't eat certain things. Certain times they have to eat certain veggies, all of those things. Ice bath recovery is quite essential and
Mm-hmm.
so forth. So we have a very, very rigid program going on now, especially that the fact that we're traveling a lot since recently.
Yeah.
And so they have to get used to that. So they're always on the go, and so
Okay.
that's the main thing that's going on with us right now.
Have you taken some tips already, Virgil?
Yeah.
They said twice a day,
Yeah,
twice a
yeah,
day.
I know it. I see, and you see that's a setback for us because a lot of our guys work full time, and then they
Ah,
train again at night, you know, and they
Uh-huh.
do their own things. So
Mhm.
the competition with Portmore and us, with the physicality,
right.
what they're going to bring to the game, you should see it. I mean, you should be able to see that because, like you said, they train twice a day, right? And our boys train once a day, right?
Hmm.
And I mean,
Mhm.
you never know, right? You never
True.
know.
That's true.
But but of course, when you're training more, the intensity to perform at a longer duration
Yeah,
is obvious, right? You will see
definitely.
that. Yeah, regardless, with a club as Portmore, they
Mm-hmm.
they won the league, so that's
Mm-hmm.
That's no
That
chicken feed.
speaks, yes, that speaks
That's
volumes.
yeah,
Congratulations, too.
yeah, yeah. That speaks a
So,
lot, you know.
so
So
Beckford, even though they're here in the Cayman Islands, we're celebrating. You all are still celebrating, but you
All
still
right.
kick in their laurels twice a day. Well, maybe because you're here on holiday, you can put three times a day. What do you think? And I'm
No man,
supposed to
no
be
man.
helping.
The reward for good work is more work.
More work.
And so we don't have time for vacation right now because
Right.
also in Jamaica we have the most titles, and so we are 8-time champions. Apart,
Mm.
everybody else have like 4 or 5 or 3 or 2,
Mm-hmm.
and so we have to keep that gap going.
Right. Right. Right.
And,
Right.
and so we don't have time for vacation, man. It's
Gotcha.
very intense.
Gotcha. Now,
yeah,
any players? Go ahead, Virgil. Sorry.
no, I say yeah. You know, being at the top requires just that. It's not easy being at the top. You know,
Correct.
Correct.
be consistently staying at the top. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
Correct.
not. And so for Portmore to have win the championship 8 times, they obviously have the ingredients why they could do it 8 times. And like
Right.
Umar
Right.
said, right? And I just think it's the dedication of the players making a commitment day in and
Right.
day out to play
Mm-hmm.
at that same level, whether it's 80%, 90%, but to sustain that is where we kind of fall off because we
Okay.
have work and we have other engagements, right? But that just show
Mm-hmm.
you if you get the right mix that anything is possible, right?
Hmm.
Really.
But
And
yeah,
also being able to create that environment where nationally we can respect sports,
hmm
adequate funding is given, recognize that some of these people don't have to be stressing out to go to work if you're going to dedicate to the sport. This
right,
is where national dialogue is needed, but that's a total different show.
yes,
But yeah, but that too looks at the national um, injection into if we want to make it there, then there
hmm
are just certain sacrifices and commitments
That we
nationally
have
and
to meet.
yes,
right,
that the country and these individuals need to make. And
right,
that's a wider discussion, I think, and Beckford, you would agree, that is lacking more regionally because of the power of the sport.
hmm
Agreed,
yeah,
agreed. I can definitely agree with that. I think personally in the Caribbean, I feel like we lack professionalism, right? Because we're
Hmm.
a bit more laid back. I think it's just a cultural thing, opposed to if you go anywhere in Europe or in the States or so, everybody's on the go.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so even in our sports and all of that, it affects us. And even when it comes to training and all that, you'll have people saying that "Ah, I don't want to train today, this and that, just because of culture. But if
Right,
in England or so, everybody is ready to train. You blow the whistle, everybody's there at 7, and you start at 7:30, and it's something you have to get the guys used to,
right.
right? That level of
Hmm.
commitment and all of that different. It's a whole different level, especially as Virgil said. Probably you guys here have guys that have to work and all of that, but
Hmm.
our
Hmm.
club is fully contracted, and so you can't work if you want to play for us because this is your job.
right,
You see, that's the difference. And these are some of the things from a business model. I know you got a lot on your hands, but even nationally, those conversations need to be had. And this may be the start of
Right.
breaking that conversation. You heard what Beckford said. It's his team is contracted.
right,
Now, how can a similar model possibly be looked at here for the Cayman Islands? But you know what? The good thing is we're starting. Here you are. You're putting it out there. Right now, you're looking at getting the training as this preseason is here, and let the other things in the background, which would be more technically administrative. Let's hope that that continues to get the appreciation and the respect, and maybe deeper discussions and buy-in will be needed from a national perspective because Jamaica got it going. And I've heard your prime minister say that they're going to look a little bit deeper into football when he was at the
Correct.
final game. I heard that with my own ears.
I heard we're getting a new stadium. That's
There
what
we
I
go.
heard.
Yeah, so that's money coming in there, but that is a national decision. But putting it back to the players, and of course you can be as diplomatic as you want. Any players that we should be keeping our eye on, like rising stars, season leaders that we can look forward to. Like I got my eye on that one on Wednesday. Oh, there's another one. Oh yeah, that's a rising star.
Well, we have two of them in particular. We have Tariq Ziminis, right? He's our wing back. He wears number 47. He was playing actually at Club Bruges,
Mm-hmm.
Circle Bruges in Germany before he
Ooh.
came to Portmore. And so he's a talent. A matter of fact, he got golden boots
Mm,
in the Premier League. And so we also have
nice.
Ronaldo Robinson, which is just a beast. They call him the left foot maestro. And so he wears 22, and so you can look out for him. Dangerous, dangerous player. So
Okay.
he's the next thing. They actually just got called up for the national team, both of them. And they're both below 25. And so,
Wow.
yeah, man, I think Ronaldo is 24 and Jimenez is 22.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm,
man. And so it's a big step for both of them. They actually just got their first caps the other day. And
mm-hmm.
so you have to just look out for them. I think they're the next big thing on the island.
Nice, 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 Virgil. Look at there. You're going to be having our own on the field with these next up and rising stars. That must be a huge accomplishment for you for locking this in and like you so graciously hosting them here. What does that mean? If you can even describe that into words with what we have been able to bring here for this preseason training.
Well, especially when you speak of young players, right?
Yes.
Because that's where you redefine the game again, right? Because a lot of times the older players take a longer time to depart in a
Very
good way,
true.
whether going to coaching, refereeing, being a
Yeah.
court official, administrative, right? They just drop off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the younger players don't get that mentorship for a
Right.
longer period of time because that would make
Mm-hmm.
players really good, especially when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to the mental capacity of developing. Right, the physical things, they're just they're gifted and stuff, but the maturity that comes to play the game and listen and take on the information and deliver when a coach give you the instructions, that
Mm-hmm.
could take a long time, right? Take
Okay.
very long. But if you have good mentorship, it will shorten that gap significantly, right?
Agreed.
And yeah, so when you talk about national programs, if we were just playing more games against just clubs in Jamaica, our
Right.
program would get better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're playing
Mm-hmm.
against stronger component. I
Mm-hmm.
think I think that league plays, I want to say 39 or 40 games. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
man. Is 39 in the season, then we play six regular. So we play 45 games basically.
So right, so
Oh,
so for us to compete with a team that playing that amount
yeah, 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 yeah,
and
yeah.
for early,
Stagnation is not an option.
no. So
Mm.
we would have to train early in the morning,
Yeah,
in the evening,
yeah,
on the weekend, on
yeah.
public holiday, to
Hmm.
probably compete with
I
the
feeling
lower,
you. I'm hearing you.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
with the bottom 7 or 8 in Jamaica. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? But that's the start. At least we know where we are,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's something that you don't hang your head down. You look up,
Mm-hmm.
you look towards those things,
Aspiration.
right?
You aspire. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because when you think of Jamaica in the last some of the World Cups they're partake in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
We should be proud of those kind of things, right? When that's happening,
Correct.
right? Because they're also, like I say, 45 minutes away. So when they play, and I like to watch and see for myself. You know, how can we be there?
Right.
What we need to do? You know,
Correct.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, so they're the things that when put more here, I'll take a close look. I'll have my drone, to kind of see what's going on, right, and learn some stuff and share
Yeah.
those things over the months and years to come. Hopefully, we can develop that relationship that we can get our boys maybe even going there for training camps and stuff like that. That's what I'm looking for. We haven't really discussed those things yet, but that's definitely in the making. And again, why not? They've been the champions for 8 seasons, so that's a good start for me. You know,
There we go.
yeah.
That says a lot. So pretty much for all of those persons getting excited and in for looking for a real treat, what kind of energy can we expect to be showcased on the pitch tomorrow and definitely on Saturday?
I guess you can. I would say the best word to describe it would be flair. Right? There would be a
Okay.
lot of flair, especially it depends who has the ball. Right?
Mm-hmm.
If Ronaldo Robinson has this ball, then you're definitely expecting flair,
Okay.
right? And so it's going to be a good game. As I said before, it's going to be a very intense game as well. A lot of probably pushing, shoving, all of that. It's going to just be a game filled with energy.
and that's
Interesting.
and, and that's what I wanted to bring, right? And because it's so close proximity from the line to where the spectators are is only
Right.
5.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, so it
so
really is
it's
close.
yes,
Yeah.
and so the spectators will be part of the game because with the flair,
Yeah.
the patriotic community from Jamaica, I love that because they're gonna help with that. They're gonna so the players will perform to the spectators, and
Right.
then that's what I want because I want that because that makes the game. I think a lot of
Exactly.
time, a lot of countries and clubs they take that out from the game, and the game
True,
becomes very
true.
boring. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm glad that you talked about number 22 and number 47. That's what I want. That's what
Mm-hmm.
spectators going to watch, right?
Mm-hmm.
They want to be a part of that and also in the game. So having that,
22 and 47. 22 and 47.
yes,
Beckford, I go hold you to it. I know. I go hold you to it. I go hold
yes,
you to it.
yeah,
Gentlemen, or Virgil, can you explain to me what this image is? Tell us what we're seeing here on this day on the screen. This is a
yes.
picture. Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's when our president, Mr. Ronald Moxon, received our host, our guests, Portmore on Saturday when they came in. Of
Right.
course, our beautiful Cayman Islands flag right above.
That's
Uh,
right.
yeah, so
Hmm.
it was great to have those guys come in. Yeah, so we were all excited about having them arrive, and again, I can't wait to get started tomorrow, because we've been talking about this for a little while and trying to get it off the ground. And I want to say thanks to the sponsors that have contributed to make this happen as well at this point in time, because without the sponsors, it would never happen.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
So for those persons just tuning in, you're in tune to Sabrina Speaks, and yes, something big is happening on a pitch. Yes, if you're still having the withdrawals of oh my gosh, the football season is over, World Cup is over. Look, we can revive that because Academy Sports Club is having their preseason showdown that kicks off tomorrow. Now, admission is just $20 for adults with children under 12 years of age is totally free. Now, this is a perfect family 2 evenings out. Plus, we've got amazing sponsors. Again, without them, this would not be possible. We're talking about the Reef Beach Resort, Fabrizone Cleaning Professionals, and Stingray Media. And always great, to have these commercial and business supporting events like this. So there's got to be lots in store for the kids and definitely lots to take away. A win-win for both teams. But we want you to come out and show your community spirit, the love for football, and who to tell. You never can tell who's in the audience. So that's the big idea. That's the big push for tomorrow, and definitely on Saturday. Gentlemen, what would you like to hammer home to those persons this evening before we wind up the conversation here?
well, I definitely. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Now, I'd say definitely come out. It's going to be great. Food, fun, entertainment. It's going to definitely be great.
Right.
I hear Beckford calling this food. Virgil, what are you feeding him? I'm not just convinced that this is no blooming jerk chicken pasta. He constantly repeats food.
Yeah.
Food is
What is
wonderful, man.
he?
The food is
Well,
wonderful, man.
I am glad because, like I said, it revolves around food, so that's good. That means
Okay,
it'll come
because I'm
back
picking
again,
up how often he has said food.
right? And so I'm taking my hat off to Sabrina. She's doing Samantha. Sorry,
Uh-huh.
she's doing a fantastic job. Then if he's on a repetitive basis saying the food, the food, the food, the food, so that's great.
Okay.
Yes, yes. But yeah, I second what he said. I want the families to come out. I want the Jamaican supporters to come out. I know they love the football. I'm trying to get our local people to feel the same way. So I've also invited all the old players that I used to go watch back in the day.
Mm.
So I asked them to come out. I want them to come. Um, they they should be there at almost any game,
Mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm,
Because
mm-hmm.
without those guys, we would never have enjoyed football, and they made it
Right.
so wonderful to go watch. Well, back in the day, Saturdays and
Mm-hmm.
Sundays, there was no lights, and you were there, from 3 o'clock till 7 o'clock, whatever the 2 games that you go to watch, right? So yeah, so I wanted to invite them and let them see us play as well, and make them enjoy the environment as well, because we always forget about those guys that did all the hard work, prior to
Correct.
that,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So yeah, yeah.
Well,
So
you have it. Come out, Cayman. Come out, Jamaica. Come out wherever. We don't care. If you love football, we definitely want you there. Come out and show your support. Be a part of the action. Bring your kids, bring your friends, bring your energy. Let's pack that field for $20. Come on. Kids are free. Kids that are under 12. Let's go. I wonder where I can find one woman called Miss Joyce and do not respond. Yeah, I wonder if I can pull her out, if I can dig her out of some crevice. Yes.
You just got here.
You see, oh, thank you. You just let it rip. I gotta find her. I gotta find her. I gotta find her. Well,
Yeah.
gentlemen, it has been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us. I want to wish both teams best of luck. Mr. Beckford, it is a pleasure. I got asked if you getting in a turtle meat because now you talking you don't want to go home. You talking you don't want to go home? OMG. But it has been a pleasure. Looking forward to seeing you all in person very soon. I will take in one. I can't guarantee both because, of course, of the show, but I'll definitely make you a guaranteed promise. I will be there on Saturday to see the final match for sure. But thank you so much. All best of luck. And it is a pleasure to have you on this platform.
All right. Thank you too for
All
that.
right. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you
Have
again.
a good
I appreciate
evening.
it. Thanks. Bye bye.
Sure. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. And just in case you just dropped it, jumping on the live, yes, we are. Let me just do this 1 second, do some behind the scenes cleanup here. Yes, we're talking about the preseason showdown that is brought to you by Academy Sports Club. Want to thank my sweet brother, Virgil. See, I told you, we gonna bring her out. We gonna make her wrap up those knees, them knees with Lenimus, and we gonna come out there. She could be one of the cheerleaders. She could be one of the cheerleaders with her pom poms. We're gonna have Joyce Ann out there cheerleading on the sidelines. Oh yes, we could do that. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about this preseason showdown. It's Academy Sports Club versus Portmore. Yes, we're talking two matches. First is kicking off tomorrow evening at 5:30. And where is this all taking place? This is taking place at the Academy Field from 5:30 tomorrow evening. That's August the 12th. And again, 5 p.m. on Saturday, August 15th. Now, there will be food trucks. There would be kids five-a-side. Lots of fun. You heard it all there. And admission is $20. Children under 12 are free. And this would not be possible without the kind sponsorship of the Reef Beach Resort, Fabrizone, and Stingray Media. So looking forward to seeing you all out there as we say hello to the Portmore crew here and see what takeaways our very own Cayman team or Academy Sports Club can take away from these champions. They are. And congratulations to them. And I'm hoping that it works out well for both sides. Miss Joyce, I say, that's right. Win or lose, be right there with your pom-poms and your cheerleading. I hear you there, Miss J. Well, welcome, one and all. This is that second segment of the Sabrina Speaks. And look at us, but we keep in time. Oh, yeah. It's 6:04. We did it. This half is now going back and kind sponsorship of Bridgepoint Immigration Consulting. Yes, because it is Open Mic Summer Edition continues here. And I'm getting that you guys are loving the vibe here on Sabrina Speaks at 938-1337 to book your consult now or WhatsApp. Yes, for more, we want to thank Bridgepoint Immigration Consulting for sponsoring the summer edition of, yes, Sabrina Speaks here, and they're here to help guide you along and help you navigate your immigration journey. We know how confusing it can be. We know exactly what it takes. You don't need to be stressed when you got some of the best leading advisors on your team by your side. 938-1337 or send them an email, bridgepoint.imm@gmail.com. Yes. Now, it is that section where 936-8255 is the number to call in. The mics are open. Hear me, mic is, open mic, but the lines are wide open as well. And I wanted to share with you a message that was shared with me yesterday because, we were talking and we had some callers that called in and we're talking about some of the behaviors out on our port. And we know that it has gotten the attention and definitely the discussion the discussion was started about the cruise port and all of that sort of stuff. Well, after that show, I received correspondence from a listener and supporter of the Sabrina Speaks show, who we will keep anonymous. And I think what triggered, based on the conversation, is that one has felt that their voice is not being heard. And I'm talking about um, a master plan for Grand Cayman future fuel terminals facility, and that builds into even a facility for cargo and all of that sort of stuff. And, at the end of the day, when it was being spoken, what was shared with me, and like I said, for full disclosure, I do have permission, but I'm going to keep the individual anonymous. They sent correspondence to what I have been told to every elected official, just given their ideas. And from what is being understood is that they have got no response back, even acknowledging. So what I'm going to do for context is that we're talking about having a national discussion as to whether or not Cayman is at the juncture where we can no longer, if we want to stop damaging our tourism product, whether or not the conversation needs to be had as to a cruise berthing facility, a cargo port facility, and whether or not the cargo port should be removed from where it is, relocated someplace else, and leave the cruise berthing facility, convert what is right now dual purpose in town to that of a cruise tourist facility. Okay. So from that conversation, feedback, discussion, I received this, and I'm going to read the email that was shared with me that was sent to what I have been told to all elected officials currently and to date have received no response. And from what I'm understanding, not even an acknowledgement. So some of the things I've redacted out of it to protect the individual's identity. But I will be reading to you the crooks and crannies of the detail, the meat of the email. Now, in this email, providing context to all of the persons that the email was sent to, it stated that in 2020 of October, they had shared a master plan for Grand Cayman future fuel terminals facility. In their proposal with the then Utility Regulation and Competition Office, OFREG, Board of Directors, and former Chief Fuels Inspector back in April 25th of 2021. Now, at the time, the author was advised that their proposal will not be needed within Grand Cayman. Now, when this author read Caymanian Compass article by James Whitaker, where the government was buying up land for port expansion. Now, government has over 5 acres of land zone, marine commercial, to be confirmed by planning department policy section, close brackets, owned parcels of land around the North Sound area and Grand Cayman near Scott Marine and Bacadere Marina, and the small dock used by local persons to go fishing in the North Sound are adjacent to the Bacadere Marina that can be confirmed by the Land Surveyor Department, and for the zone can be confirmed by the Department of Planning based on Development Plan of 1997 revision. In this author's humble opinion, the North Sound would be the ideal area for the new Cayman Islands Port of Authority cargo facility expansion, where no dredging will be required. Since the early 1990s, the North Sound has been dredged by Mr. Jason J. Bodden, deceased in the 2000, Mr. Neville Scott, son of Anthony Scott and owners of Scott Marine and Bacadere Marina, carried out additional dredging in the North Sound of Grand Cayman. In addition, no heavy industrial or coastal works should be considered in or country, general commercial, central business district to destroy the country's treasures that all comes to our country to see and enjoy daily to weekly and yearly. Now, visitors comes to shorelines, island come to see our beautiful coral reefs and the waterfront, where is known for diving, snorkeling, and all visitors, including locals. All major cargo vessels and all tanker vessels that is acquired by Sol and Rubis to be transported at Jackson pipelines, fuel terminals, transport to CUC by underground pipelines from both Sol, Rubis, Jackson Point fuel terminals. In this author's humble opinion, also Sol and Rubis have a new aviation terminal located in the North Sound area of Owen Roberts Drive. This author is suggesting that the government should consider in the near future to have all fuel terminals in one central area rather than how it exists currently, that is near residential homes and education institution. Now, this email continues on by saying, should the North Sound area of Grand Cayman be developed as the Cayman Islands Port Authority new cargo facility location, the following should be considered as it's related to reducing the cost of fuel, price, and exchange propane tanks sold at all local gas stations. Now, Home Gas Propane Company has 1 acre of land adjoining to Island Paving Compound on Lincoln Drive of the same light industrial subdivision, where Clean Gas Propane Terminals is currently located off Sparky Drive. Refuel Terminals is currently located off Hidden Lagoon Drive of the Jason Bodden Light Industrial Subdivision. Sol and Rubis Joint Aviation Fuel Terminals located off Owen Roberts Drive, Georgetown, near Uncle Clem's distribution and wholesale location. Now, rather than Sol and Rubis transportation fuel products to their new fuel terminals during peak hours of the day via their cargo truck on Grand Cayman roads, where other roads users usually use daily, which creates road safety issues that isn't monitored by regulator for dangerous substances named the fuels, which would be off-regs fuels sector and their 3 fuels inspector. This email concludes by saying, thank you for your time, for reading my email along with suggestions to the new cargo port facility, which will reduce burden on the port cargo facility in Hogstye Bay, since all cargo vessels come via North Sound area of Grand Cayman to journey to both Hogstye Bay and South Church Street Jackson Point fuel terminals. Now, I have ended there because that is the meat and potatoes of this. Now, at the end of the day, this author is saying, they have gotten not even one acknowledgement from this email. Now, whether or not this is a priority of the current administration, I think where this author is feeling hurt goes back to exactly what the 2 callers were alluding to in yesterday's discussion, that nobody is listening. They're not felt heard. They're not felt appreciated. You're asking for public feedback. You're asking for the public's input. Obviously, this individual has put a lot of time, a lot of energy into this, and there is a master plan that was attached to this that was shared with all, as what I have been told by the author, but no one has acknowledged it. No one has acknowledged it. And my friends, I've shared that with you out of respect for the individual reaching out to me, because they're saying, at what point do we really show that what people have to contribute, what they have to offer, is valued by what I'm getting from this author, by those who have been there or elected to serve their people? So again, it goes back to the questions that I posed yesterday based on the conversations that ensued for land and sea tours, what has been observed, some of the breakdowns that has been shared, some of the blatant breach in laws, policies, lack thereof of enforcement. And here we have another story where they are felt as though they're just been completely ignored. What's your take on nationally if this was to become a very topical subject again? Whether or not we are at that crossroad, we're at a point in our country where the discussion needs to be had as to what we're going to do with cruise and cargo or both. What is your take on it? The phone lines are open 936-8255, and I can understand that it is obviously an apparent culture that persons are saying, Sabrina, we hear you. We know that you're sharing the information. You've created a platform for people to speak, but what's the sense? Well, yes, sometimes you do feel like that, like this individual is feeling. But is that enough to say you're not going to speak about it? Is that enough to say that we're no longer going to put the spotlight on these topics, these conversations? Now, it's one thing to say, well, here we are bringing up the cruise facility again or the cargo facility, but only those who are supporting it are those who is out to gain. Okay, fine. I want us to extrapolate that part from it. I want us to look at the actual elephant in the room. We look at our tourism product. We look at other jurisdictions. We look at, yes, the marine. We look at our environment. We look at nature. But we also have to look at that as a balanced approach. So the question still is, are we at risk of damaging our tourism product, which is one of the key pillars of income for the Cayman Islands, if we don't have the true, honest conversation about this? Are we at risk of that? Forget the mega ships. Just deal with it. We see where ships of a certain size cannot even dock. For years on top of years, bad weather coming in, the silt and all of that sort of stuff, the sand has been washing up, that even based on certain load capacities on those boats that can actually make it into the dock, we're seeing where sometimes they're at risk with touching. This is what touching the bottom because of the buildup that is already there over years. Of course, nature takes care of itself, right? But are we at that critical stage? We're not talking about dredging, even if it's still to tender. Are we at that stage where we are having this, we need to have this conversation? And if so, do you think what this author has put in writing to every elected arm is what is being told is something worth looking at? No, of course. This is not patent or patented. This is just suggestion from a concerned Caymanian who have some insight, who have done their research. And I'm quite sure there's information in there of works that predates this administration and many more prior to this administration. But the fact still remains is that persons have shown an interest, have taken the time to compose an email with an attachment. They're felt let down. How many of you are feeling that way? How many of you are feeling that you're not valued, you're not being heard, and that you feel like you're a nag when you're asked to participate and you do make the move to try and contribute and to offer your suggestions, and this is what happens? 936-8255. Feel free to call in. Feel free to drop a WhatsApp. Good evening, Andrew. It's good to have you here with us. Hope you're doing well. So I just wanted to share that. That was one of two things that was shared with me yesterday evening as a spin-off based on the conversations that were being had. And I was into another discussion as well in regards to even when it comes to, in general, looking at the discussion, even if you wanted to build a new port of some sort, the general question is, why is it when government has any major capital projects and they put out these bids for persons to bid, that everything is just blown out of proportion with the amount in which it's costing a government to do a project. Many of times, and this is a discussion that I was having with another individual who were saying, well, Sabrina, it's not making sense. Why does it have to cost so much money when government puts out a bid or for tender and the bids come back that, for example, something, let's say a shed, a beach hut, would normally cost, I don't know, I'm just pulling numbers from the air, right? Should normally cost with material and labor, let's say based on the size, 25, 30,000. Okay, to construct. Of course, building materials are going up, but we're talking about a shed, a hut, cabana. Why is it when then the government then puts out a tender that the same cost, because it's government asking for it to be done, of what should be, example, 30,000, then comes back 100 to 200,000 just because it's government? That's just one example. And even though many persons who have seen these things have questioned, well, why is it so much? Is it only because it's government that, oh, well, you know, the government has money and that's a norm? Is that right? Is it right? And these are the things and the practices that people are seeing, but it's almost like you're playing a blind eye to it. And what I'm getting is that some of the drawbacks and holdbacks is just because, not saying that we don't need a facility, be it cargo, cruise, or both, but some of the biggest drawbacks based on discussions that I've been hearing, and they started surfacing again overnight and this morning, only because of yesterday's discussion. And I know that a lot of you tune in afterwards because I could see based on the comments and the calls and the messages that I was getting. Why is it then that the cost factor, or the first thing that you hear is, oh, we're not going to do it because this one want it here. Or, you know, this one is going to gain because of that. This one has land here. That one has, I'm like, at some point, we're going to have to just deal with the elephant in the room because we're not getting anywhere. We're like hamsters in a wheel. Not to tell you that that is not something to be concerned about, because that could be, and I stand to be corrected, that could be inside trading, right? It could be. But does it take away from the national need, realization, accepting, owning up that our current cargo and cruise infrastructure doesn't need to be addressed? That's the big question. Now, for full disclosure, I am not advocating for or against as a host. I am merely bringing this subject to the forefront based on conversations that ensued yesterday. We have all, based on the feedback, identified and have established that something is going on at our ports. Something is going on. There's a structural issue. There is a system issue. There's also issues that I am seeing or hearing based on the comments that there's a lack of enforcement, and there's just some underhandedness. And also unaware of some of the discussions that ensued. Another separate conversation came up that validated what was alleged yesterday, that there are overseas companies that is on the ground that are selling tours and that sort of stuff, that it appears they don't have license. And I said, well, how can you all be aware of this and nothing is being done? Because if I'm just a regular person and you all are saying this as though, okay, yes, there is an overseas company here or overseas companies here that are doing things without license and they're actually coining it, the companies are not even here, then at what point do you sound the bell and the whistle that enforcement is unaware of this? It's not that I'm doubting you. What I'm trying to say is that yeah, it's just a conversation. Oh yeah, I can't remember the name of the company, but oh yes, Sabrina, that's a fact. Yeah, I've seen them. I know that, and you've heard the comments here as well. So really, what is happening with the enforcement arm of what's happening out there? Are there any breaches? Are there any businesses operating without a trade and business license? Are there any licenses that have already been issued that are in contravention, that are outside of the conditions of their license? Well, how are you going to know if they're not caught? How are you going to know? Lisa Brightly is with us this evening and is joining in and commenting on this. She's saying, "Good evening, Sabrina. Thank you for sharing this valuable information regarding the cargo port." Yes, that what I read, just in case some of you are joining me midstream, is a email that was shared with me, and that said email that I've only read the meats and potatoes of it to anonymize the composer. But that email was sent with an attachment of what was told to me yesterday in this email to every elected official, and not one person has acknowledged them. So, with their permission, I was able to read that to you because it aligned with the conversation yesterday. Andrew is also weighing in on this topic this evening as we continue with our open mic summer edition here on Sabrina Speaks. 936-8255 should you want to give us a call, weigh in on this, or maybe something else was on your mind. Who to tell? We're all in for it. But Andrew is saying our tourism product is very expensive compared to our neighbors. How much value is there for the money? Cruise ship tourism is very important. However, we have to be very mindful of the costs. What do we want to attract? High end? Question mark. That's another question. And we can expand those questions a little bit more as well, Andrew. Are we then into the business? And I did an episode of this on the Sabrina Speaks before. Are we then going to change our model to be more for stayover tourists, where the persons would have a slower pace, longer time, improve our offerings, that sort of stuff, maybe looking at more going east because people are not rushed for being in port, let's say, for 6 hours, 4 hours, some a little less. And then based on the fact that it's tendering, you know that sometimes getting back on the cruise ship or getting off could even be hampered a little bit more. So, Andrew, very good questions to ask and to put out there. But really, who are and what type of product are we actually preparing for? And that has to be a balance because now we're seeing everyone is quite capable of traveling. And especially with the different cruise lines and price points, yeah, it's a fair question to ask. But nationally, are we looking at more stayover, which is air arrivals, which we already realize that needs expansion as well, our airport? And do we then look at the stayover tourism from the airport, or we still address the needs of our facilities, be it a cargo? That's not going to go away because the shipment demands are still there. The demands for that is still continuing. And under the conditions that are out there, no one can disagree that don't need enhancements or could be improved if outright not relocated. Okay? But that's a bigger question. That's a bigger conversation as well. Where do we head? And that lies in every citizen, because at the end of the day, tourism being one of our primary pillars, we don't want to have that reactive effect where we're getting this branding internationally again, that there are fights. Remember, there was a time where that happened, but apparently now it's escalating again. It's starting again. And that is why it is so important that we're seeing and having this conversation. And I'm happy that the two callers, especially yesterday, brought it up. I thank all of the persons who reached out to me afterwards. But yeah, that question still looms. Do we want the higher end? Do we want a mix? Do we want a hybrid? And then what other opportunities Do we then look at the Eastern District, sister islands, and all of that sort of stuff? All of these are national questions that needs to be answered because they have been asked. But in addition to that, we're seeing where a lot of legislation as well is woefully lacking when it comes to more enforcement. It's not that we don't have the laws, but what I'm getting based on what you all are sharing with us is that you're lacking enforcement. You're lacking enforcement, and again, the big word of accountability keeps showing up. And that, my friends, is the operational arm of government. That is the operational arm. And we know right now, currently, the port is operated as a statutory authority. They have a board of directors. Yeah. So in collaboration with core government, the minister for Plahi, who's responsible for ports, that's a statutory authority. That's how they're governed. And then Minister of Tourism, they will have to work very close together. And then, of course, you will have the final say. But with everything that is happening, with outlets, with people being more a bit more outspoken and being more confident in speaking their views and speaking up and speaking out, you're getting that confidence building now. And the more we educate coming from an unbiased perspective where all sides can be heard, and you end up with something that all sides be satisfied without or becoming the detriment to our ecosystem, the environment, protecting those who pay their bills, feed their families from this industry. The discussion needs to honestly be had from a national level now. Because the dual purpose site that we have right now obviously is no longer working. So where do we move forward? That composer has reached out. That composer of that email is just asking for a response. They're not saying, oh, here's my plan. Just acknowledge them. But bigger than just this email is the real life stories that we're hearing from the few who are bold enough to speak publicly on what they are observing, what they're living, how they have been disenfranchised by what is obviously a broken system and services that are available or should be provided by services provided only by a government. That is actually hindering and hampering their way to make an honest living. And they're feeling that they're not being heard of, they're not being heard, they're not being paid attention to, that it's as though they're scuffed. They're just pushed to the side. So I'm sharing that with you, but the topic can go bigger from a national perspective, and we want to bring it. We want to bring it here. I'm just happy that I was able to share it with you, and I'm hoping that that composer will actually get some response from some elected member, hopefully the right minister. Even just an acknowledgement would make them feel as though they're valued. And that is the key. I don't know what else. I've done what I've had to do here. I've highlighted it to you, and I appreciate your feedback. Now, also in yesterday after we finished, I received a WhatsApp message that, again, sparked another conversation because we were talking about working in the hotels and that sort of stuff, but it's all aligning. And again, out of making sure I protect these people's identity is why I am going to quote some of what is I'm able to read to get your feedback on this as well. 936-8255 is the number to call should you wish to weigh in. This is not my opinion. I'm just bringing this out to the forefront, putting a light on this at the request of you, the supporters, to just let you know reality in this spectrum, and for this, what I'm about to read, that it's real and what's happening out here. We're not juror, we're not judge, we're just putting it out here because some people tend to think that we're bashing one nationality or another nationality. You will not have that here with me, to be honest. I'm just bringing an awareness to what is being shared with me. Now, this was a WhatsApp that was shared, and some individual that was working, and they were reaching out to a family member and said, and I quote, "My job decided not to keep me past my probation period because I'm not warm enough and welcoming enough, which was never a problem brought up to me. My managers told me I was too friendly and needed to give the servers an opportunity to bond with their guests. Now, all of a sudden, I'm not warm and welcoming enough. And when I asked for an explanation, they said it doesn't make sense to go through it because they had already made up their minds." Now, this individual have always been too nice and too friendly to people, is what they're saying. But what it sounded like to them was that they know the hotel thing isn't a life goal for the individual or a long-term desire, and they don't like that because they kept repeating to this person, "We know you're studying for something else." So let me just break it down. Because this Caymanian who was on probation is studying for something else but was working at this hotel, what I'm getting, they are telling them, "Look, your services are no longer needed. It's not even like we're going to keep you past your probation because of you're not warm enough, you're not friendly enough. You know, we are aware that you're studying something that's totally outside of the industry that you're currently in." So the WhatsApp continues to say, the only thing that they used to complain about, and that is this person owning up, that I used to be getting to work late. And they worked on that and they stopped being late. So they were totally shocked when they got the final result that after the probation, their minds were made up and they were not continuing with their employ. This person continues to say, "I don't think the managers even knew because they put them in the schedule for next week and everything. And then all of a sudden, the whole house has come tumbling down." Now, 936-8255 is the number to call. This is a young and inspiring Caymanian who, of course, how many persons haven't worked in an industry that is not aligned to their major if they're, let's say, want to be a lawyer or an accountant, and they get a job because life is lifing, right? It keeps happening. Life continues to happen. And because you would have shared your aspirations, of course, you would declare it to human resources that you're going to school to aspiring, be an attorney, be a doctor, be a lawyer, be whatever that is not concierge, for example, or a server. And then that's used against you at probation. Now, I must say, and I'm not going to remove the part that obviously during the probation, this individual said that they were late at times, but they worked on it. And that was never the problem. They worked on it. They improved. They were no longer late. They really, really were buying into the role. And now at the end of probation, they said, "Look, our mind is made up. We don't want you. We don't want you anymore." What do you do in that case? When this is a young person just trying to work and go school, but then bang. Now, I'm not here to play juror and judge. I'm just looking at the overall picture. Maybe you may say there's more context needed. Why should I weigh in on this? The individual said that they were late anyhow, and we know how probation is. But it doesn't seem, based on this message, that that was the overarching main reason for them not continuing their employ post probation. 936-8255 is the number to call should you want to weigh in on this conversation. 936-8255. So at the end of the day, what do you tell someone like this? Do you tell them to continue, which in this case, you would have no other choice? If I was a parent and this had happened, you hear it out. But like I said, there is some context that could be missing from this as well. But we have heard these stories over and over again, where it appears as though these things only then happen more frequently to those who are from here. And they're more inclined, they meaning employers, organizations, are more inclined to work with those who they have work permits for versus those who are legal and ordinarily resident, or if not outright Caymanians and don't require any work permits at all. Now, let's be fair. Let's be fair. What environment are we creating, or have we created here, is the big question. And do you feel at the end of the day that this was something that maybe they could have extended the probation? Maybe if that was an option that was given, it could have been a workaround? Or you just think that they were right in accordance to law and just following it by the law? They made the right decision as an organization. Do you feel at the end of the day that, especially when you're on probation, that you need to be on your game 100% of the time, never late? And because this is all that this individual is saying, that they do admit that they were late, but they worked on that and it was no longer an issue. And obviously, because they were on the roster, it means that the immediate supervisors didn't have a problem with the individual. But obviously, a decision was already made from a higher tier based on the reasons given for non-continuity of their employment was born on the fact that they were studying for something that was outside of that industry. That is cause for concern. That's serious cause for concern. How many persons haven't done a part-time job, let's say at a supermarket, at a grocery store, and they are qualified? That happens everywhere in the world, right? And you work along with your employers, and they try to accommodate you. Now, if you got an attitude, if you're just breaking the laws, if you are constantly calling in sick and coming in late, I can understand. But do they give you enough chance or an opportunity to correct your wrong? I'm only going based off of what was shared. I am not taking sides with anybody, but I'm quite sure that there are other persons out there who have said, look, we've had our issues, and this is just not a local thing. This has happened straight across the board. We're not robots. We're human beings. Life happens. We could probably have had a flat. We have probably had a sick child or children, or outright, we ourselves are just sick. You can't say that we can't get sick while we're on probation. We just don't get pay. Okay? Is that enough? Is that enough? How many persons are you aware of that has probably been exposed or have experienced something like this? So what I'm getting from this is that this young and aspiring Caymanian was devastated at this blow, and they just wanted to share their experience. They didn't hide the fact that they were late, but it was not a consistent thing that they may have felt warranted a decision to say probation is up, adios, your services are no longer needed. And at what point is enough when on probation? And I can't speak to that, which is why sometimes I welcome persons just coming on and sharing their experiences, because me trying to paraphrase it to paint the picture and anonymize these individuals is complex, because it's not that we're going to be drilling them in a sense where, well, what did you do? Like putting the spotlight on you. It's your fault why they didn't keep you. No, I think at this point in time, with what we're seeing in the environment, all of the allegations that are out there with what's happening in certain industries much more than others, is that a local, a permanent resident holder, a person married to Caymanian, there's no room for error. It's like you're being judged even that much more because you're competing with a bigger market that's contributing to our national income. Andrew is weighing in on this, and he's saying, very disheartening and doesn't give any young Caymanians any incentive. The face of tourism should be represented by majority Caymanian people. In the 70s, 80s, and 90s is across the hotel industry. Caymanian people worked bellman, house cleaning, waiters, bartenders, and worked their way up to managers and earned very well. Pride in what they did. But I'm hearing more and more of this actually transpiring. And thank you for that comment, Andrew. I'm hearing more and more of this continuing. There was a resort that opened recently, and there were a number of Caymanians who were hired. Before the grand opening, in preparing for the grand opening, a number of the locals, based on what was described, and I've heard multiple stories, were not able to continue in their job because of the environment, like they were being ganged up against. Now, some will say, look, I ain't making nobody push me out as long as I show up to work, and I am going to do, I'm on time, I'm doing what is asked of me, I stay in my own lane, I mind my own business, I ain't going to make nobody gang up on me. It is like Caymanians are too soft, they give up too easily, because maybe it is that easy to just say, to hell with it, I'm not going to put up with this is my country, I'm going to try to go find something else somewhere else. And it isn't always that easy. That could be the other narrative. It could be the other side of the story, where what my age group and generation would put up with because I got responsibilities and all that sort of stuff, others may not. The younger generation may not be tolerant of that. And like what you say, some people are saying, Miss Sabrina, they gang up on us. They who? Those who we are a threat to because we're not on work permit. We're not subjected to roll over. It's not like I'm not having the conversations. They're coming to me. And they said, people will not understand the environment. We know there's not enough of us to fill every role. Let me tell you how this connects now. But allow those of us who get the opportunity to work in peace. It's similar to what was being described with the pre-bookings versus those who are non-pre-bookings. And now even that is now being gobbled up. You see what I'm saying? That is what I'm hearing. So even those who have the ambition, who's showing up for work, they're saying the atmosphere and the behaviors to some of them, not telling you that some don't have some issues. I'm not going to paint, but let's keep it positive. For those who make it their duty to show up, the odds they're feeling is constantly stacked against them, and they're losing hope. Here's another Caymanian story that is shared with you. Totally devastated. And what are we doing What do we have to do so that our young men and women don't lose hope? And that's even our adults, because we're getting the same feedback from the adults who have actually gained permanent status here. And they are trying to enter the workforce, and they say it all goes to hell in a handbasket once they get their citizenship approved. It's like everything changes. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just bringing it here to the forefront. I'm putting a spotlight on it. And that is being that conduit for sharing with you what people are experiencing. I don't have the solutions, but I know one thing for sure. We need to come together, band together, coexist with the harsh realization that no jurisdiction can survive without imported labor. We have admitted and agreed that we have an environment where it's service-based, which means we provide services. And we're going to need people to fill those spaces. Once you got the right attitude, aptitude, you show up to work, be polite, you do as you're told. And even those who have been invited, have accepted based on contract or otherwise to be a part of our society. Let's just coexist together. I'm not into the game of bashing any one nationality or this. I'm just about coexisting together and standing up for what's right, standing up on principle. Yeah. And just living amongst each other, making an honest living and having that opportunity to be living in one of the most beautiful jurisdictions in the world. We still have so much to be thankful for, so much opportunities that they're bursting down. They're coming in with or without authorization to stay here. Yeah. And this is our home. This is our home. This is what sunset brings us. This is what so many people wish they could see. Look at that. Look at that. This is ours. From employment opportunities, business opportunities, sustaining yourselves in the workforce. This is our Cayman Islands. But at this rate that we're going, I don't know. I really don't know. When your people are just being felt as they're not valued, they're not heard, that, they're no longer matter unless you're in a certain sector, you're in a certain class, a certain tier. Then, Houston, we're having a problem because not everybody is going to sit down and take it. This, my friends, is home. We have opened our doors to so many. Opportunities are there. Why it appears as though we are holding on with our last little fingernail tip to pay our bills, to live? Why is it? You can't tell me that this is only a Caymanian problem. There's something bigger afoot, and we need to have the conversation. Lisa is weighing in as we take her last messages that are coming in. Sabrina, some of the HR personnel will not stand up for Caymanians. Ms. Barbara G is also weighing in this evening. Being Caymanian is not a qualification. The other side of the coin is that many managers and supervisors are foreigners who are making life difficult for locals in order to get their friends a job. All of these are key information. Good evening, caller. You're live on Sabrina Speaks. What's on your mind?
Hello, Miss Sabrina. Good evening.
Good evening.
to
Thank you
and
for the
Cayman.
beautiful pictures.
You're welcome.
Beautiful.
It's nature is something. Let's just leave it at that. It's a different view and a different sunset every day. No matter whether the clouds are there, the sun's going to set. Whether we're around or not, the moon will come up somewhere, and then that will set, and then the sun will come again.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
What are you sharing with us? 3
let me
minutes to
just
go.
let me just say this: the tardiness with the lateness,
Mm-hmm.
I think was just a start. Even though that was corrected, it was wrong for the young Caymanian to be late.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, we don't know the circumstances.
Exactly, which is why I couldn't
And
expound.
we're not judging
Correct.
until we're given some more information by them. But being that was corrected, I think we have to look at the idea that it might have been where someone did not want that young Caymanian there for whatever reason, whoever the environment where they work.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what else took place. And it might have been something where someone said, we don't want them here, so we'll just get rid of them after their probation, and we'll use this that we see or we think
Mm-hmm.
is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because even that too friendliness,
Mm-hmm.
how do you tell somebody you're being too friendly
In that industry.
when you are talking to visitors
Mm-hmm.
to our country?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they come here for. So they did the wrong with that. Why I say that? If that young person has taken anything from this, I hope it's that sometimes, no matter, even if you correct what should have never happened, sometimes some people just don't want to see Caymanian somewhere. We have to think about it in that respect too. I'm sorry, because we hear about it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it is saddening. Why? Because that young Caymanian, even though they were late, could have rectified. They did that lateness rectification. And you could have said, give them another month or two on probation. Make sure you're on time and you will have this opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you're going over, if you want to go to study, we will give you the opportunity. Once you prove yourself in the next 2 or 3 months after the probation again finishes, we will show you that we will keep you on. You go to do your studies. It could have been looked at it that way, but I say again this, we don't know the particulars of
And
it.
not only that, I mean, this could have been an opportunity. How much people change professions and careers 2 or 3 times in their life? That you could, based on what accommodations was extended, this person could have changed their major. We don't know.
And they could have become one of your greatest assets.
Correct.
And it is saddening to hear this is what young Caymanians are going through.
Mm-hmm.
Because I will just leave it here after I say this, because I know we have time allotment. When I applied to banks on Grand Cayman, I was in the bank. I didn't ask anyone. I took it upon myself. And I think I applied to all the major banks. And the first one that came, I got an interview.
Mm-hmm.
Graduation ceremony practice.
Mm-hmm.
The deputy principal, Miss Downer, came over. And she called my name. And she said, you applied to some banks in Cayman. I said, yes, ma'am. She says, well, this one wants you down here at this interview. 6 months or a year, and I was told you were hired long before you walked through the doors.
Mm-hmm.
I asked why. Because of who we know, and who you are, and where you come from.
Mm-hmm.
I had a business studies teacher that had gone into banking, into loans, and his wife was also into banking. And they watched me grow up as a child.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't do that this day and age.
Right.
That was 40 years ago. And it's saddening to hear what my people are going through today.
Mm-hmm.
When they are just trying, it seems to me that we have closed the door on a young Caymanian who wanted to do some good of showing the visitor a Caymanian experience. And I think because of the amount of nationalities involved in our tourism product, by we not being able to have pushed tourism as an asset to us instead of as a burden that we can't get anything out of it, that is wrong. And we are in that place today because we did not see the value of tourism, and tourism has now blown up, and we are catering to the rich and the wealthy. And it is sad to hear a Caymanian has to go through this when they probably wanted to do that while they got to where they were going to study. You know, it's disheartening, because I was in banking many years ago, and I worked at what is now, I think, the watercolors. And that was the old Beach Club Colony Resort. And I remember the good old days of the NCR machine. And I smile because I made many friends for a lifetime just from being nice as a Caymanian. And those were the years Cayman Airways came in at 1 a.m. I leave it there. It is disheartening to hear. Why? Because we should be pushing a tourism product. But if we are pushing it to get Caymanians, young ones, into the tourism industry, if these are the outcomes, we are still going to hear from them. And 2026, when we say we're doing so much to get Caymanians into a product, that Caymanians should be the face of it, and that is the end of it. And then therefore we would lessen the population of this country when we get a lot more people employed. But Caymanians can't do it all, but we cannot keep pushing the young Caymanians out of an industry that if financial services goes, many would have to fall back on the tourism industry. I leave it there, Miss Sabrina.
Thank you
We'll
very
talk another
much.
evening.
Thank
It's a
you for the
beautiful
beautiful
sunset.
pictures.
It
Yes, I
was.
know.
And
Yeah, it's
I
gorgeous.
say to that young person, you smile like you always have been, young man or young woman. You're a good person. There will be obstacles put in your path, but you smile and you stay strong and you keep going forward. And another opportunity will come to you. And I can guarantee you 1,000,000%, you won't be late showing up.
There we go. Lesson
God
learned.
bless.
Lesson
Thank you.
learned. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Have a good one.
Likewise. Well, there we have it,
Thank
ladies and gentlemen. That wraps up today's episode of Sabrina Speaks, and I look forward to another exciting and engaging episode tomorrow. I want to thank you all for your comments. I want to thank you all for joining us. And remember, tomorrow evening, yes, Academy Sports Club is going to be out there. We want to make sure that we encourage everyone to go out and celebrate and support this event. Yes. And let's make it a family evening. So we want to encourage you to go out and let's just be a part of this event and tell me about it. I intend to be out there for sure on Saturday. Yeah, because I'll be right here with you tomorrow evening. So please do have a good evening. Please be safe on our roads. And I'm looking forward to all of you. Connie Bonnie, thank you for staying up with us. And I know where you are. You don't have sunsets like these. No, you nor Harry has any sunset like these. Live happy either. Damian Henry, where are you? We missing you. You're on holiday too or what? Yep. Well, please do have a good evening. Have a good night. And we want to again thank our proud sponsor. Yes, that's Bridgepoint Immigration Consulting. Yeah, contact them today for your consult. 938-1337 or send them an email. bridgepoint.imn@gmail.com. Please do have a good evening. God bless. Love you lots. Until tomorrow, good night.
That's a wrap for today's edition of Sabrina Speaks. Thank you for tuning in and for being part of the conversation. Remember, the dialogue doesn't stop here. Stay engaged, stay informed, and most importantly, stay empowered. We'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m., same time, same place, right here on CMR TV and radio, where your voice matters and your truth is heard. Until then, K-Man, take care of yourself and each other.
That's it for today's edition of Sabrina Speaks, where your voice matters, your story counts, and your truth is always welcome. Join us weekdays from 5 until 6:30 p.m. right here on CMR TV as we dive into the topics that matter most to you. Catch the show live or on demand at cmrtv.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram so you never miss a moment. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and always speak your truth.